The Atlanta Falcons just drafted who I think is one of the best defensive ends in the NFL draft. James Pearce Jr. coming out of Tennessee is an absolute superstar. The guy did end up falling, I think, more than what the tape actually shows. On tape, Pierce is a top 5 pick. He does have some issues that I'm not going to really get into. You guys can look it up yourselves. But talking about a pure tape perspective, this guy's an absolute superstar. And today we're going to talk about what it is he does on tape. That's really, really impressive to me. And we're going to start right away with this first play here because this first play kind of sums it up. The quarterback on this one has a one-step drop. So if you keep an eye on the quarterback, he's going to snap the ball. As soon as he gets the ball, he's going to take one step. And usually, if you guys watch tape, the quarterback tells you what the play design is. If it's a one-step drop, a three-step drop, the quarterback's looking to get the ball out quickly. Often referred to as the quick game, is meant to get the ball out, which means the defensive linemen have no business generating any sort of pressure. In fact, if you guys look at all the normal defensive linemen out here, none of these guys even really get close. You look at this one technique here, he does get double teamed, but he gets nowhere near the quarterback. You look at the 3 technique, he's also not going to get anywhere near the quarterback. But James Pearce Jr. is different, right? This guy's going to get out of his stance. He's going to hesitate to the inside. He's going to jump outside. He's going to utilize some pass rush technique with the hands, specifically the rip move with the left arm. And he's going to get his hand on the quarterback, right? He's going to generate pressure as the quarterback's trying to release the ball. Now, if you guys don't know this about Pierce, he is 6'4 and a half, 6'5", 250 pounds. And that type of size generally does not move the way this guy does. Fake hezzy, rip move on the outside. He gets the quarterback that quickly. I don't say this lightly when I say this, but James Pearce's tape, the way he moves, the explosiveness, that first step is very, very, very impressive. And I think this guy's going to become one of the best defensive ends in the NFL. Now, of course, we don't really know the work ethic. So I do say that lightly, understanding, I don't know this guy's work ethic. We don't know if he loves football. Some of the things that he needs to fix, can he fix those? If he can, he's going to be one of the best players, right? The athletic profile is there. The traits is there. Now, let's watch some of what this guy does do on tape and just watch how quickly he wins. So obviously he ends up beating the Oklahoma left tackle on this one, just super quick, beats him right away. And to me, it almost looks like the left tackle thinks that Pierce is going to end up bull rushing him. And it does kind of look like that. If you look at this play and you look at it closely, it looks like Pierce is going right into this tackle. And the tackle's going to almost dip his helmet. He's going to try to take on the power. But Pierce quickly changes that pass rush move, right? Instead of actually putting both hands into the offensive tackle, he's going to just slide right past this guy. The left arm's going to drop. The left shoulder is going to drop. Right arm's going to kind of push this tackle towards the left. And just like that, Pierce is going to go right by this guy. But it almost looks like he's trying to utilize some sort of power move only to kind of speed rush this guy, right? To me, this is what makes James Pearce such an intriguing prospect. The way he moves, the way he's able to beat guys, the way he's able to shift his body, just the way he wins is really, really impressive. And again, the guy just has so much potential. You get plays like this where he has an elite get off, he utilizes pass rush technique as well as he beats the left tackle. I want to show you guys this play and really break down what it is he does within this play.
Now, before we go forward, I want to just take a second to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this channel because this content would not be possible without Underdog. If you guys have never utilized Underdog before, trust me, man, you guys are missing out. I don't do traditional fantasy sports that often. I did do one league this year, but generally speaking, I'm not really doing it anymore. And that's mostly because of Underdog. Underdog has this game that I really, really enjoy. It's called Pick'em. Essentially, you're going to go out there and just make picks that you think are going to be right. They'll have pretty much every pick you can think of for every player, and they have multiple categories as well. So an example would be, I think Aiden O'Connell is going to throw for 125 yards. And you're essentially just going to pick higher on that, right? I think he'll have more than 125 yards. You might say, hey, Dak Prescott's going to have at least 2 touchdowns. I'll pick higher on that. You might say Caleb Williams is going to have a rushing touchdown. And some of those stats also give you multipliers, right? So usually for quarterbacks rushing it in, right? That's something most quarterbacks aren't doing every single week. You'll get like a 4x multiplier on that. So depending on the multiplier, depending on how many picks, you can turn $5 into $400, $1,000, right? Whatever it ends up being. Obviously, it depends on the multiplier, but Underdog to me is one of those places that I pretty much do every single week at this point. Very fun. It makes like watching the Jets and the Dolphins without Tua. It makes them interesting, right? So check out Underdog. If you guys have never used them before, it is the best place. Trust me when I say that. Go to underdogfantasy.com, use my promo code that you guys see on the screen, or use the app. I recommend the app. So let's get right back into the content.
So on this play, he does multiple different moves. And to me, this shows me that this guy has a real pass rush plan. So right out of his stance, you're going to see him hezzy to the inside. And I think that hezzy move right away is going to be the first thing that's going to set everything up. It's kind of hard to see because you get a guy kind of going in motion right in front of him as he snaps the ball. But as soon as Pearce gets out of his stance, you can almost see him fake towards the inside. He's going to almost load those hands up as well. I look at the two hands kind of load up, come around. He's going to swipe the outside hand of the offensive tackle. So he's going to essentially fake to the inside, quickly go outside, and he's going to even load up the hands, double hand swipe the outside arm of the offensive tackle, and just beat this guy with pure speed. And he also rips as well, right? You're going to see him kind of remove the leverage that this offensive lineman had with the right arm. See that right there? He kind of fights through that hand. And he's going to generate pressure, right? Just straight up beat this guy with speed. To me, that's a really, really good job by Pearce. It's quick, it's effective. The movement keeps that offensive tackle kind of guessing. And he generates pressure on the quarterback on this one. Now here's a really nice rep once again by Pearce. Just does a really good job controlling the left tackle. Now he doesn't actually make the play on this one, so you do got to just clean it up a little bit. You got to be able to make the play, but look at the control, man. You know, you get a guy that's long, a guy that's tall and lengthy. This is what you expect from him against the run. And I also want to just kind of throw this out there. You know, there's talents out there. Guys like Max Crosby, guys like Jonathan Grenard that are really, really good football players. And they don't generally go high because they can't really defend the run. Or at least they didn't really show that in college. That's not the case with a guy like Pearce Jr. You see him control the left tackle, gets the arms in this guy, really stops him at the point of attack, does not allow this left tackle to gain any movement. Keep in mind, this is an outside zone play, so you do want this left tackle to generate movement. And Pearce just shuts it down. Now, ideally, you want to be able to get off the block and make the play. The left tackle almost kind of pulls him right there with the left arm, which could be why Pearce wasn't able to kind of make the play, but just do a little bit of a better job. Regardless, a really nice rep here by Pearce to be able to really contain the outside, shut down the movement at the point of attack by the left tackle. Alrighty guys, you got a really nice pass rushing snap. This one's against Arkansas. He's going to be lined up over the right tackle. He's going to do a phenomenal job beating the right tackle. Again, just look at how this guy's able to move, how he shifts, how he's able to beat this guy. To me, this is once again what makes this guy such a good football player, right? You can't teach movement. You either have the movement, you have the quickness, you have the shiftiness, or you don't. And remember, this guy's not 6'1.5" or 6'2". He's 6'5", right? James Pearce is massive, and the way he moves is elite, and I'm not surprised he went in the first round. Let's break this play down a little bit here. So the ball's going to end up getting snapped. Pearce Jr. is lined up pretty far out wide. He's in like that Y9, so this is a very hard thing for any offensive lineman to be able to block. You also have two guys lined up in the A gaps, which essentially means Pearce is going to be in a one-on-one against that right tackle. Anytime Pearce can get it into a one-on-one, he's going to win, right? He knows. Third down situation, one-on-one, true pass rushing situation. You got that double mug look with the linebackers on the line of scrimmage. And Pearce Jr., right, fakes inside. There's the hezzy, right? So fake outside, fake inside, jumps outside. He's going to almost try to load up both hands and attack the outside arm. And it works well. He's going to end up turning it into a rip move. And to me, just once again, a really, really nice job to be able to beat that offensive tackle. He's going to end up getting to the quarterback on 3rd and 8, and they're going to lose about 7 to 8 yards. Really, really good job by Pearce. Just sticking with that same concept, the speed, the quickness, the shiftiness to be able to, you know, change how your body's kind of angled to get past the guy to blow a play up. Here's another one once again. He's going to have the right tackle that's going to come out to him. And again, notice how Pearce is essentially on an island with the right tackle. This right here, it really favors a guy like Pearce because he's so quick. He's going to fake to the inside once again, right? You see that fake movement to the inside. He's going to jump outside, and he's going to just make this offensive tackle miss, right? He's going to rip as well within this move. Phenomenal job, right? To be able to make this guy miss, use your athleticism that you have. And with that, he's going to end up getting into the backfield. You'll also see number 42 is going to go unblocked. So he's going to disrupt this run play first. Pearce will be the second guy in there, and he's going to blow it up. He's going to make sure to bring this guy down. And that play is going to end up losing about 3 yards. In my opinion, James Pearce's best football is still in front of him. Right? The guy obviously had a lot of success in college, but I still do think, you know, given the fact that this guy didn't play a whole lot of snaps this past season, his best football is still in front of him because he's going to still continue to develop. He's going to continue to get better. And again, when you think about potential, you think about upside, you think about a body structure that a guy might have. You look at Pearce and this guy has it. Now, one of the things I personally like with Pearce is his ability to shut down guys on the front side, right? So when he's playing on the front side of certain run plays, how he's able to make contact with guys is really, really, really impressive. Look at this play here as an example. He's going up against the 12th overall pick. This is Tyler Booker, the left guard that the Dallas Cowboys just drafted. This is a zone run, so if you guys keep an eye on Pearce, when Pearce jumps inside and he slants, the left tackle is going to let him go. And that means the left guard now has to pick him up. Now the left guard here, 12th overall pick, phenomenal guard, arguably the best guard coming out in this past class. Look at Pearce anchor the run. I mean, that right there is impressive as hell. It literally does not get better than this. And again, this is why Pearce was regarded, in my opinion, as a top 5 potential player. It's things like this, right? The arm length, the length, just general that this guy has, the strength, the potential. I mean, it's definitely there. There's so much to like about a guy like Pearce. I'm very excited to see what this guy continues to develop into as he gets into the NFL. Again, his best football is still in front of him. He has to develop. And he really wasn't even a full-time player. You know, some guys play like 700, 800, 900 snaps in college. This guy played less than 500 this past season, right? So as he gets in the NFL, the Falcons will have to continue to develop him. Maybe he's a rotational player in this first season. I do think that's something that could make sense for a guy like Pearce. We saw the Vikings kind of do that with Dallas Turner this past season. We've even seen it in the couple seasons prior to that where even if it's a first round pick, you kind of bring him in slowly and you essentially mold this guy into what you want out of him, right? You essentially put him in position of what you're expecting out of him, right? If he's a third down pass rusher, have him play specifically on pass rushing downs, right? He'll get better. He'll understand what he needs to do kind of in his responsibility and his fit. I love what Pearce has flashed on tape. Just that first step, just that explosiveness, that quickness. You got a really nice play here. The guard basically doesn't even get his hands on Pearce. That's how fast he is out of his stance. To me, that's absolutely impressive. And again, it's not just the quickness and how fast he is. It's the ability to shift your body a little bit, right? It's the ability to make yourself skinny and fit through a hole. And, as you're slanting into one gap and a guy's trying to get to you, make yourself a smaller target. Dip the shoulder, dip the hips, right? Whatever it is to get past the guy. And Pearce definitely does that on tape, and it's part of what I really like with this guy. I think as Pearce gets into the NFL, as he continues to develop, he's definitely going to become one of the top 5 players in the NFL at his position. We have just a couple more plays that I want to show you guys. We have a couple of pass rushing plays specifically. Here's another one where Pearce is going to utilize some pass rush technique. On this one here, he's going to be going up against the left tackle. One of the moves you see with Pearce a lot is the fake to the inside, and he kind of jumps outwards. On this one here, he's going to fake inside, fake outside, and then jump back inside. All right, pass rush plan. It's a real thing that scouts talk about. And I know, because I work as a scout for the Hula Bowl, right? I talked to a lot of NFL scouts. Just this past Hula Bowl week, I talked to so many scouts. A lot of them, talk about some of these prospects. But James Pearce, the pass rush plan that this guy has, you see it right here on tape, right? As soon as he's going to get out of his stance, he's going to start this wide. And then notice he's going to fake the inside right there. Fake inside, fake outside, jump backs inside, left arm slaps the shoulder pad, right arm comes over the top. And just like that, the quarterback hasn't even finished his drop back yet. And Pearce is all over this guy. I mean, look at the quarterback here. 1, 2, 3, and James Pearce is in his face taking him down. I mean, that right there is impressive as hell. Here's another one. He's going to fire upfield and just jumps inside one step. He's out. He's basically into the quarterback. An elite first step, right, is what James Pearce has. And you don't get these guys, especially in the later rounds. When a guy like Will Anderson comes out, when a guy like Jalen Carter comes out, right, these guys are guys with elite tape and elite potential. They don't generally fall. And I think James Pearce fits that same category. Now, obviously, he ended up falling a little bit further than a guy like Jalen Carter fell. But I do think some teams are going to regret not taking Pearce higher than where he ended up going. I also think he'll have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to get into the NFL and just crush it. And do note that we will be following Pearce as he gets into the NFL. We've done Falcons content on this channel before, and we'll definitely be doing it more as we kind of go forward, especially given they got a player that I personally really, really like in Pearce. I know they also took another guy earlier in the draft that I actually really like as well. I'm excited about this, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time with another video.